This is Nat here. This video will be about .NET MAUI and VS Code setup for Mac users. If you have Windows, you should not have any issues setting up your environment to use .NET MAUI using Visual Studio. At this point, the reason why I am using VS Code is because Visual Studio is retiring soon at the time of this video, so there's no point to continue using it when developing using .NET MAUI. So I decided to transition to VS Code. So far, the hardest part has been the installation because setting up the platform for Android is kind of been challenging. So I decided to make the video so it is easier on you when you run into the issues I run myself. You have probably seen other errors, and if you do, please make a comment on the video and tell me what you are getting that I did not get while doing the video. So I have done the same installation twice. I did it on my Mac M1, and now I am doing this one on this Mac, which is an i7. Oh, wait, sorry. I thought I was on the other one. No, this is actually for the M1 Pro. But I also did it in the i7 processor on my other Mac, and I ran into exact the same issues. And I was running the same Mac version, and everything was exactly the same. So, yeah, let me get started. So the first thing is that you would want to go ahead and open the Microsoft documentation to install .NET MAUI 8 on your Mac using VS Code. So first and most important thing is to have your VS Code installed on your Mac. This is the website they provide with documentation. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple to do. However, again, as I mentioned earlier, I run into some issues that were kind of explained there, but it wasn't as, I think it's easier to see how to get it done here rather than reading it. At least for me, like I had some issues, and I'm not the first person that I've heard having issues making this whole setup. Okay, so first go to Visual Studio Code, install it. Should be pretty straightforward. You can just click on this link. By the way, I'm gonna provide this link, but it should be pretty simple to find. Just have to go to Google and type install VS Code for Mac to use .NET MAUI. That's it. That's pretty simple. The second step would be to add the extensions. Again, I'm following this because this is, the setup process that you should be doing first. If you run into issues, then of course you're gonna be troubleshooting and trying to make it work for you. But the second thing will be to add the extensions. The extension .NET MAUI comes already with C# and C# Dev Kit. So by installing that one, you should be good. This is, if this is the first time you use VS Code, this is where you would find the extensions option, and then you just have to search for that. So this is the .NET MAUI extension. You would have the option to install. I have already done the installation, obviously, which is why you don't see that here. You're just gonna click on install, and then this will bring, again, as I mentioned, the C# and the C# Dev Kit extensions, okay? And after that, you would have to install .NET 8. Again, you click here on the link. It should be pretty straightforward to install it. Something to keep in mind, very important, when you're using your Mac, you must have installed Xcode, okay? The latest version. So you're gonna go to, if you don't, you're gonna go here. It should be in the Apple Store, actually. Yeah. You should install the Xcode. Have to have the latest version for all of this to work, okay? Very important to keep in mind. If you don't have the latest version, make sure you update the latest version. All right, so let's say that you already have that .NET 8 installed and you already have your Xcode installed as well. The next thing would be to copy these on the terminal to install the workload, the MAUI workload. So over here, you can open the terminal here, and you can just copy that, and it will install it for you. If you do need more permissions, obviously do this, add your password there, and then it should obviously tell me that I have already installed that for you. It should be totally new installation. Hopefully you don't have any issues. You shouldn't run into any issues here, I suppose. If you do, please let me know. As you can see here, it already says that I have it installed. So no biggie. It's trying again and then it's telling you you already have it. So yeah, let's wait for that to finish and then we'll continue. Installation was complete. So I have successfully installed the workloads that I needed. Apparently there were some updates or something because I had already done this before. And yeah, all right. Now it's setting up the platforms to target. Again, as I mentioned earlier, the main focus of .NET MAUI is the convenience of having multiple platforms supported here. So it obviously makes sense to have them all installed and ready to go in case you do use them. It doesn't necessarily mean that you will, but if you do, they are there. So I would really encourage you to set it up and have everything running and working perfectly fine for you. So first of all, to debug in iOS or macOS targets in vscode, you need to have installed the latest version of Xcode, which is what I mentioned a few minutes earlier. You do require that for iOS debugging. Okay, again, you can go to the App Store and download the latest version there, or you can run xcode dash install. Here it is on your terminal to get it. Now that should be pretty straightforward, pretty simple. You can go here and install it here from the App Store, and it should go very smoothly. Now, here's where things get a little tricky when you're trying to debug on Android. Okay, first off, follow the instructions. Go here and install this JDK that they tell you to install. Here it is. Make sure you select your correct platform. In my case right now, I have the M1. Here it is. This is the one I installed on this one. If you have the other Mac, then obviously this is the one that you would install, the X64. Once you do that, it should be pretty simple. Install the Android SDK via one of the following approaches. So they have multiple approaches on how you can do this. They recommend creating a project using the .NET MAUI and using the install Android dependency target. You can try this option for yourself. I did it and I was getting the error I mentioned earlier, which I'm going to show you a screenshot of the error since I don't have that error again. But before we move forward, here you can install it using Visual Studio. This is again for Windows only, so this is not an option for us. You can install it via Android Studio, which I believe it should be the easiest way to do. I have not done it myself here. I do not have Android Studio installed on my Mac. I don't even know if you can do it on your Mac. Probably you can, but I don't know. Like I've never done it. But well, that's an option. And then the other option will be install it via Package Manager on Linux. So this is not an option for us. So the only option we have is this one, I guess, and Android Studio if it is supported on Mac, which I believe it should be. Okay, well, let me just run over there real quick because I cannot stay without knowing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, I guess so. It doesn't say here Mac or here it is for Mac. Okay, cool. So yes, it is. All right. So again, here they added the troubleshooting phase because they know you will run into some issues over here. So I followed these instructions to create the project, and this is what I did. I went and created a new folder. When I created a new folder, I made sure I was CD into the into that folder over here that I was in there. Once I did that, I actually ran the following command on the command line over there on my VS Code. I copy this and run this. Over here, it tells you exactly what the command is doing. It's actually installing all the Android dependency that you should have. And they tell you like what's the path. I'm gonna show you real quick how to get there. Um, you have to accept all the Android licenses for development and all that. So once you run this, it should work, but it doesn't for me. It didn't work for me, right? Twice. I did it twice and it didn't work for me. So here's a screenshot of what I got. This is what I got. Android SDK installed required. And then it shows you a list of the things you have installed and the things that you do not have installed. I'm going to show you real quick how mine looked like. So you have a better idea. I'm actually going to show you a screenshot of that as well. So this is how it looked like for me once I was running that command here. It will tell you exactly which components you have installed and which components you are missing. For example, here, see how it says here, this one is not installed. This one is an update. This one is not installed. This one is not installed. So by getting this, I was able to figure out, okay, these are the ones that I'm missing that I need to install. Very important to copy this. Make sure you know which ones you need to install. They here tell you an action, how to do it. They here specify how you should be able to do it. Over here on your VS, there is a how to configure Android instructions that I will show you now real quick so you guys know how to get there. Yeah, let's move here. Okay, so here's an example of what I just showed you. They tell you here that this is the error that you could be getting, which is the one that I was getting, that I wasn't finding my SDK, my Android SDK in this case. So they want you to go here, Control or Command Shift and P, and search for .NET MAUI configure Android. So this is where you would have the instructions on how to troubleshoot this error. All right, so I'm going to go there. It says here, let me see, configure. Where's the Android? Okay, let's see. Yeah, I guess this is. Yeah, but it should come up. I'm not sure if it doesn't come up because I don't need that anymore because I have it all set up. I am not sure if that's the case. But you should be able to do it. And once you get there, it tells you exactly what I'm going to show you. Okay, these are the minimum dependencies. You should have the minimum dependencies. All right. This is the most important thing to understand is that we need to install this by using the SDKManager. Okay, this is a command line that is an Android SDK command line, I suppose that's how maybe they call it, that will allow you to install these components that are needed, these dependencies that are needed. Very important is to know where to find them. I go here to my go to folders, and the path to follow, let me get that for you, should be okay, here it is. Sorry about the delay, but I needed to find that path. Let me see, it's not finding it. Go to, all right, there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the path real quick. I'm gonna list it for you so you guys see it. I like to see it like this. Okay, this is the path. You should go to your users, then your username, library, which is it's a hidden folder. So you have to control dot to see the hidden folders. But if you go through this path, through the go path, it would take you there without you having to unhide the hidden folders. After that, developer, Xamarin, Android SDKs, command line, then the version of the command line that you have installed, bin, and over here you would find the SDK manager. Okay, so this is the one that you need to cd into. So I'm going to open a new command line. I'm going to cd to that location, okay? I need to cd to 7.0 or 11, whichever. 11.0, and then I have to go to the bin. Okay. Oh, wait. I did something wrong here. Okay, let me see where I am. Yeah, because I am, okay, so I am inside users there. Got it. Okay, so I have to go to my, just didn't change the name. Let's try that. We are in it. Let's see. How in the world did I just do? Okay, there you go. Sorry. Okay, I am in there. So now I can see that I have the SDK manager. So here's the trick. In order for you to go inside and run the SDK manager, like you would have to do dot/SDK manager. Okay, that's how you would get in there. Now I want to see a list of what I have in there. If I do that, I'm already inside the command line. So you need to be inside that command line in order for you to install those dependencies that are needed for the SDK, for the Android SDK, okay? Here they give you like the usage of this command, so you have an idea on how you can see the version, how you can accept the licenses that you need to accept, how you can see the list of all the install dependencies that you have, and that's what we're gonna do right now. So again, always that/SDK manager, and then I'm gonna see a list. Here you should be able to see everything you have installed, all the images, all the emulators, all the SDKs, all the dependency, everything. So here you can see all the ones that you have installed. If you go above here, you would see, yeah, you would see the versions and everything. Very, very well explanatory, I would say. So depending on what you see here is and what you're missing on that screenshot I show you here, you would install the ones you need. All right, so now we are at the point where we are going to install every single dependency that you are missing depend according to what is showed on the terminal on your VS Code. So you need to know how this is set up. It is very straightforward to do it. Over here, I'm going to provide again this link. If you go to Google SDK Manager, you should be able to see more information on how to use this command line to install, update, or uninstall packages for Android SDK, okay? All right, we already saw this list here. You can run this install packages with the following syntax to install it properly. Now, let's just say that one of the things that you had as not install was the platform tool, right? And the platform Android 33. So in my case, for example, let me show you the picture again. My case, I had the build tool 34.0.0 not installed. Let's say that I want to install that. I would have to go to the SDK. I would have to go here, have to do dot SDK manager. Then I would copy what's the name of that build build tool build dash tools. If I find it here, so I can just copy. Okay, build tools like that with the quotes and the version number. Okay. What version I needed? 34.0. Okay, that's exactly the one that I needed. So I would do dash / SDK manager and then the name of that dependency and the version, the same way you see it on the list of items that you're missing. So here you just click here and it should tell you whether you have it installed or if it is installed or not. Let me see. Okay, so since I already have it, let me make sure I show you if I have it. Build tools 34.0. So I already have it. It's good for me. I have everything. So you're gonna do one by one. Again, you can do more than one. If you wanted to do multiple at the same time, so you can do it like this. This is installing the platform tools, the latest version if you don't add a version number. And then this platform, Android 33, at the same time, you can install it together like this. This would help you. This would be like your Bible to do everything that you need. Once you have all of that, you need to make sure you sign, accept the licenses. This is like the last thing that you need to do. Copy this exactly like it is, and it will take you to some yes or no licenses that you need to accept. You have to accept all of them before you can use this thing. So I have already done this. If I were to run this command again, I need to add the dot / here, and then it will tell me that all my SDK packages licenses are accepted. So make sure that you see this at the end so that you know that all of them are accepted and you're good to go. Okay. This should be it. Now, the only thing I can do here for you is run the project, a test project that I have using both iOS and Android. So let me do that real quick. The final test will be testing the app and checking out whether it works or not. So I was able to create a template project here with .NET MAUI to run it just to test this environments, the target environment that we would debugging with. The place that you would go for debugging is over here. Now down here, you see this wiggly curly braces. This is where you can change the debugging target. You would have a list of all the emulators and simulators that are available for you. At this point, I'm not sure why I'm not showing all the iOS. I believe I maybe have done an update that I made some changes while showing you here that is not showing up the iOS devices. I will check on that. But for now, let me try with this Pixel 5. This is an Android. One key thing is that this doesn't come over here. You would have to pin it here so you can see it. So it would come like this. Oopsie. It will show like this. You have to click here and then tag it to see it. And I believe that's like amazing that you can do that and see it, because I had a struggle a little bit finding where it was, where you set it. And then I figured out it was over there when I started working. So let's see, my emulator is opening up here. Let's see if it works. Okay, it takes some time the first time you launch the emulator. Um, but once you do that after the first time, it should come up faster. Okay, let's see. Now while that runs, let me see. Oh, something very cool is that now we have the Solution Explorer here that you can expand and see it exactly like you would see it in Visual Studio, which is like a great plus. They have also extensions like this one that is a Solution Explorer extension that I downloaded. It has like pretty nice coloring. Looks nice. I mean, you can use that, or you can stay with the one they added themselves here, the Solution Explorer, without having to go and add the extension. Now I have multiple extensions that are very useful um, for you. I mean, you just have to play around with this, and then you'll be able to find what extensions are good. Like you have IntelliCode for this, very useful. Let's see. So I guess maybe I can do another video another time showing you about the extensions that I have and how they help me. But please add in the comments if you got other errors that are not the error I showed you, which was the Android SDK not found. That was the error I was getting. So if you have another error, please show it to me. Be good to go and test it. Again, as I mentioned before, this is where you would change the debugging target that you want to use in this particular case. If you click here, it should show you all the simulators and the emulators that you have available. Now the list is coming up. I had to kind of do a restart to have it all list out. There was some issues with that before, but now it's good. So I have picked iPhone 15 Pro, and now I am going to go here to run and debug and run it. Now this time should go faster because I have already tested it. So it should be here. Let's see. So it came up really quick because it had loaded already. When it's the first time again, it will take longer to do that. So this is working just fine the way it's supposed to work, and I'm really excited to show you it finally works. Okay, the running the Android emulator. This is the Pixel 5, and now I picked that option, and now when I run it, it's working just fine the way it should work. So, okay, so that's it on that. Another thing that I wanted to show you that after a while, I was able to install the Android Studio. And let me tell you that I believe it would be a great way to do it if you do it from the start. It would be great to try this before going through all this manual process I did and see if it works out for you. I haven't done it like that. I did it afterwards, after I made it work the way I did it. But if you go over here and you download the Android Studio on your Mac, you can go here to the SDK Manager and they show you the SDK platforms you have installed. So you could do it here instead of doing it through the SDK Manager. And here as well, like you have the SDK platforms and the tools will be here. So if it shows you the latest, you should click on Show Package Details so you can see all the options. And then from here, you could install it as well, and that might be easier than doing the other way. However, you can always do it the other way if it doesn't work still. So that is very helpful. Also, it is good to know that you can go to Xcode and check on that as well. You can go over here. Um, Over here, you can see all the simulators that you have installed as well. It's a good thing to know. Here too, you can see also the devices simulators you have installed, which will be actually opened by vscode. But yeah, you can see it here. For Xcode, you have, let me see if I can find, here in the settings. Yeah, here's in the settings that you can find the platforms as well. So you can see all the platforms you have over here. And I mean, this is good to know. And that is it for now. I hope this has helped you in your journey installing VS Code and using .NET MAUI and using the emulator, the Android emulator especially, because with the simulators for Apple, it's pretty straightforward and simple. But yeah, the emulators is where the Android emulators are the ones that I struggle with the most. I could also use over here. Let me try using this, my Mac. I think it's Catalyst. Wait, it's not it. I think it's Catalyst. What is this? All the way up here. No, yeah, it's this one. Um, this one has always worked as well. And here it is. So I hope this video has helped you. I'm not the best video editor. I hope it's good enough for you and you understand everything I said. If you have any questions, if you need anything else, please let me know. And if you like it, please give a like. Thank you.